All right, for segment 1 today, we are going to talk about the skipped occupational character classes, and we're going to cover some of the races of Palladium fantasy. So like, I guess the race thing for me is a little bit important because it was one of the games that I would play if I wanted to do something weird that I shouldn't do in Dungeons and Dragons. I could come here to play an ogre, or what else do you guys have? Trolls, kobolds, I don't know. You get weird stuff in Palladium fantasy.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out today what weirdness you can play and why. We're not gonna dive into every race and all of its history and background and glory. We're just gonna talk about generally what you'd expect. And to be fair, you're probably not gonna be too surprised. So let me share my screen and start off with the cover of Palladium Fantasy. Right? Why didn't it show?
Oh, crafty! I think I'm gonna gift him $25.
Let's try that again. It didn't want to show the screen. That was weird. It's like you can't. Boom. Oh, there we go. All right. There is our cover. Yeah, this is we were talking last week about, doesn't it look like does somebody get Dragonlance vibes? Well, here's the Dragonlance artwork. And how do I change it quickly? I figured out on Friday how to change it quickly. I know how to do it now.
All right.
Let's do that again. I want to practice this because I like this.
No, it's not going to take that long. It's not going to take that long.
So that's the Clyde Caldwell.
Okay.
From Dragonlance, right? That's Cyan Bloodbane the dragon, and that's King, was his name Lorax, with the dragon orb. And now here's the cover to Palladium Fantasy.
Looks pretty similar to me.
Huh.
Who robbed who?
Huh. Yeah. Well, this is second edition, so Dragonlance definitely came out first.
Yeah, first edition cover is much different.
It is much different. So, all right, let's figure out what page we're going to be on for
PDF
these.
65.
So was it 66 for me? 64. Oh, 64 for me. Okay, so there we go. We're going to talk about. He doesn't want to talk about Priest of Light because for some weird reason he has Priest of Darkness. Yeah, cool people play Priest of Darkness.
Be a good guy. Fuck you and your Priest of Darkness. That's an NPC. All right.
All right.
All right. Now we didn't talk about clerical magic, which really the only mechanical difference between clerical magic and wizard magic is that a wizard has to learn spells and understand how magic works, whereas a cleric is just granted abilities in the form of spells by their deity, pantheon, whatever. That's the main mechanical difference. Now, there's a lot of course, that makes it a plethora of, artistic and, semantic difference, but that's the main mechanical one. So we're going to go first with the Priest of Light. Now, the Priest of Light, you get to, depending on how deep you want your game to go in religion, which I hope is not very, your priest can worship just a general pantheon, and it'll still work. It'll work fine. Doesn't matter. But if you want more, in-depth clergy who have specific gods that your land, that exist in your land, and they must, worship one of these gods or whatever, then yeah, okay, you can get more specific stuff like that. But you don't need to. It gives you the idea. It doesn't matter how big your congregation is. Doesn't matter how small. It only matters that you believe and the pantheon or God accepts you. And that's pretty much it. And if you start off as an O.C.C. Priest of Light, guess what? God has accepted you. Boom. Power of God compels you. You're good to go. You're fine. All right. So we'll move on to priest armor and combat. With rare exception, priests are not trained as men of arms or in the use of weapons and armor. Hand-to-hand combat is not generally part of a priest's teachings, although most traveling priests learn at least basic hand-to-hand combat, which is something everyone should get, really, in a Palladium system, at least basic.
Have you ever played a character without?
No, I've never ever, because it's stupid. It's ridiculous. You should never do that. They're normally men of learning, blah, blah, blah. Regard to armor, most priests tend to prefer light armor like padded or leather types because they offer good maneuverability and are more comfortable. Even chainmail starts to become a bit weighty and uncomfortable. The heavy armor types are cumbersome and confining. Furthermore, covering oneself in metal hampers the channeling of magic energy. When casting an actual spell or trying to create a spell scroll, see prayers, the metal will interfere with the magic the same as with the wizard if more than 50% of the character's body is covered in metal, chainmail, scale mail, etc. So, and you have to spend 20% more PPE to cast a spell, and the player rolls once in the following table of random effects. So wearing metal armor is just a bad idea for a wizard or a cleric. You can do it. You can do it. I want that extra SDC. I want that armor rating. Well, then you don't want to cast spells a lot. And that's your job. So you're playing it wrong. Stop it. But it says 50% of your body. So, studded leather, probably fine.
I only have 42% of my body covered. I wrote that in my character's background.
Well, no, it's the game master's call upon what armor you want. Yes, I know.
There we go. Here, let me zoom in on that. I can do that. Solo layout. There you go. All right.
So don't let your players ruin the story. It's they think it's their job, but don't let them do it. But if I've even had a character one time commission the best armor he could from the best blacksmith he could find with only 49% body coverage in metal. And you know what? I let him do it, but it cost 10 times more than the equivalent than it would otherwise. So he still bought it, but when the next time came where he needed money, no one was giving out.
That's when the anarchist thief goes in there and cuts a little patch of leather out and makes it 50.
Makes it exactly 50. Exactly. Yeah. That's when that happens. And, someone's going to get some kind of wrath of God from someone wearing no armor. But hey, that's how it works. So if you have armor on, you get one of these things is going to happen. There's a 20% chance that nothing happens. You're fine. But there is an 80% chance that your spell range, duration, or damage is going to be reduced by a significant amount. All right, now.
Wow.
Good players work with the GM for a fun story. Only communists are contrarian players. Communists and what's the other word?
Anarchists.
Socialists and leftists. They're all like super alt left. They're all just angry to be angry.
Is alt left a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is.
So allegiance to a god.
There you go. To play a priest, a female can be called either a priest or a priestess. Fair. The player must choose a god or a pantheon of gods and or a religion to which his character can devote his life. Again, if you don't want to get deep into religion, you don't want to have your clerics, missionary themselves off to different continents to spread the good book or whatever. You just say generic good religion A, and there you go. You don't need to bring in a real world religion or even make up your own. You don't. I mean, if you want to use Palladium religions, they have the Book of the Gods, which I have. It's not what it's called, but it's on my shelf behind the.
Somebody shouted out in chat. So let me
okay,
find
good.
it.
Pantheons of the Megaverse. Yes, it's geared toward Rifts, but it has its own conversion table. So if it's in an SDC world, you also have SDC stats, and you can use gods from there. You can use religions or pantheons from there, and that's fine if you want to get deeper, but you don't have to. That's the point I'm making. But of course, if you decide to go against your religion, well, there's props. Now, the first one, if you disobey, rebuke, or badmouth your deity.
Screw you, God.
yeah. Like, this is a lot of stories, right? A lot of stories where the priest loses faith because of this horrible thing that happened, like faithless preacher type guy. And his wife was killed in a random car accident, and his son, was struck by lightning the next day. You forsake your God. You're like, fuck you, God. What did I do to you? My name's not Job. What the fuck you doing? So this is what happens. You'll be punished, often severely, but usually fairly. In one campaign, for example, Kevin's wife was playing a priest of light on a quest from Isis to recover some holy relics for Osiris. The quest led her character on several dungeon adventures in genuine adversity. His wife played the character expertly, and over the many months of gaming, saw her character grow in experience. After a particularly grueling battle, she accidentally let one of the reclaimed artifacts slip out of her possession. Isis appeared to the priest in a vision and told her she had goofed up and needed to retrieve it. This difficult request, following immediately after a long, torturous adventure and brutal combat, caused her character to grumble, "Yeah, you know how tough this will be?" And God responded, "I don't care." To which she said, "Why should I? What have you ever done for me? I don't know, give you all the power you've ever had up until this moment."
Did you ever heal anybody? Yep.
So, that this is like talking back to no, it's worse than that. Like, there was this kid at an arcade I went to when I was like 16, 17. This 8, 9-year-old kid was standing on a stool at a game that I want to play, and he didn't have any quarters in it. He was just pressing buttons and doing stuff and say, "Hey kid, move, I want to play." He turned around and gave me the finger. I smacked his ass off that stool. I'm proud of it because I taught something his mother didn't.
I hate the fact that if some kid comes up, keeps punching the nuts or some crap like that, all you're allowed to say is, "Billy, get away from me." Fuck that. Pick him up by his neck, move him over there. He won't do it again. That's child abuse, and that's assault on a child. Fuck that. Some kids need it.
That's a learning moment.
Yep.
That's what it is. So yeah, she went and picked on someone who is way outside her weight class, and God got angry. You've offended your God and speak with arrogance. You need a lesson in humility. Until the lost artifact is recovered and restored to the church, your ability shall be diminished, and dare not call upon me until that day. Zap! Suddenly, she's went from 7th level to 4th level. Worse.
Oh, wow. 3 levels.
Your level of experience was frozen until you recover the item. Any experience acquired along the way, nothing. Playing a character, the priest humbly apologized for untrue and foolish statement, vowed to find the artifact, thanked Isis for her compassion, and swore her undying allegiance to her God in the Pantheon of Light. Unfortunately, the loose object had been sold and was already miles away. A new adventure was unfolding. Okay, so that seems rough, right? But you got to think about this. She talked back to a god, a 7th level human nothing, talked back to not only an immortal being with powers beyond her understanding. The power she does understand is given by the same immortal being. And she got
"What have you ever done for me?"
She got mouthy. So, game masters out there, if your character gets straight up mouthy to your god in like a vision or a dream quest or whatever, don't feel bad. Now, if it's like an exclamation to the heavens, "Why, oh God, why have you forsaken me?" Stuff like that. That's not the same thing. All right. That's not the same.
That's desperation, not smart enough.
Yeah. Not smarting off. That's desperation and assuming that God's not watching anymore.
Now,
when you're
you could still take a little hit from that
off, you have no excuse. You have nothing. You got nothing. But priests who forsake their gods
before you move on, there's one thing because we've hit on it a couple of times.
What's that?
But when we get to it, look at all the powers. It's not just like, oh, look, I can heal somebody. When we get to all the powers that clerics get, this wasn't like what do you do for me? Oh no, let's take a look in a moment. So.
All right, yeah. All right. Priests who forsake their god completely are stripped of every clerical ability, skill ability, and experience. The memories of experiences and people remain, but the skills and power are magically removed. God cherry-picked your brain, took out everything he ever gave you, and kicked your ass to the curb. That's what happened. Character starts from scratch with the selection of a new O.C.C. at level 1. The character can even become the priest of another god or pantheon, but even if sincerely repentant at a later time, is not likely to ever be reinstated as a priest of the deity he had forsaken. Gods have long memories, as long as their lives. So if you like officially forsake him, he's not gonna take you back. You're done. God's a Chad. There's always another one on the hook. It's fine. I'll have another priest. Special prayers. All priests pray. This is not a surprise.
What?
Prayer serves many functions. It enables the priest to communicate with his deity one way, unless the god decides otherwise. And in doing so, gets things off his mind, enables him to focus his thoughts. Prayers are also used during mass and religious ceremonies, both as part of a tradition and to focus and coordinate the participants, which can number into hundreds or even thousands. Special prayers are pleas to the gods for strength, insight, and minor acts of intervention. These are typically limited to the following blessings. All prayers or blessings are intended to show God's favor on those who believe in him and or worship him. Short prayers are on one round, whatever, but should be performed by only on one person or item per prayer. To try and bless a crowd of people on numerous items diminishes the effectiveness of prayer, so bonuses. Only a priest of 8th level or higher can bless 2 or more people at a time without loss of potency. What happens is some small measure of protection on the faithful for a period of 2d4 weeks unless indicated otherwise. So protection against magic, against vampires, against charm, against whatever. It's some minor protection, whatever they need, right? Blessings on water, blessings on a person, blessing on a home, blessing of food, a prayer for strength.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Priest with additional strength, +6 save or horror factor, +1 on all other saving throws, +10% turn undead, +20% exorcism, +1 spell strength, +1 to parry and dodge. The prayer can only be attempted twice per 24-hour period. Duration is 2 minutes per level of experience. Success
so you
ratio,
can't do it every 2 minutes.
No. 20% at first level, +7% for every additional level. So not all prayers are going to be answered. All right. Get over that. God's busy. You're not the only priest out there. Prayer of communion. The prayer allows a priest to contact his deity or one of the gods in his pantheon. The god responds by creating an inspirational vision or dream which will motivate and encourage the priest. There is a 60% chance of divination or an omen which warns of impending danger, treachery, or good fortune. Visions and dreams are usually symbolic and cryptic and always concern people and matters close to the priest, his deities, or church. Can only be attempted twice per 24-hour period. Success ratio, 21% +7% per additional level. Then we have the prayer of intervention. Successful prayer gives the priest one of the following temporary boons. Player's choice. You get to choose which one of these God bestows upon you. Enable the priest to cast any one spell of any level that his god knows.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you went very generic with your god or pantheon, that's everything. So that's any spell. The priest is able to cast a spell with the effect, spell strength, and duration 5 levels higher than his current experience level. Thus, a 3rd level priest will be able to cast a spell as if you were 8th level. PPE cost for that spell is not applicable. It's provided by the gods. You don't have to pay for it. There are a lot of spells out there that are thousands of PPE. Praying to God. God grants you any one spell you want. Free. +5 levels. +5 levels in strength.
That's the part that I was stuck. Yeah.
That's crazy, right? Temporary knowledge to create a magic scroll. This ability is limited to priests of 6th level or higher and can only be tapped in once per 24-hour period. The type of spell is limited to the knowledge of his gods and a typical equal in spell strength to the level of the priest. The exact spell level potency can be regulated by the priest who is conjuring the scroll. Okay, you can make a scroll. That's fine. Super healing. Super healing. The priest's normal healing touch now instantly restores 2d4 times 10 hit points / SDC or 46 MDC in Mega Damage Worlds. Duration, twice. You get 2 touches. 2. 44 times 10.
Good touch.
That's a good touch. Everyone wants that touch, right? That's a great touch. Then we have miracles. Miracles are the result of direct appeals to the gods the priest worships for incredible acts of intervention. They are used to create supernatural effects such as changing the weather, parting bodies of water, granting temporary supernatural abilities, whatever. Now, every player, slow your roll on this one, okay?
Okay, bringing it back.
Bringing it back, okay? We were all fun and games with the blessings of water, blessing of people, minor intervention, strength. That can happen, okay? Miracles. This is not just when you're doing something in the name of your god. You're doing something for your god.
With the power of your god.
With the power of your god behind you. You are now just a vessel so God can touch the world and have it not break. That's all. If you get it in your life, it's going to be once, maybe twice. And that is going to be acting directly for your God, not about your God, not around your God, not kind of sort of in the same field as your God. No, you and God are on the same page. This stuff has to be done, and this has to happen for it to be done. Moses parts the Red Sea, stuff like that. You know, frogs falling from the sky, rivers running red with blood, firstborn children, the whole thing. These are all miracles. Well, depending on which side of the coin you're on that one. I mean, the other side would be disasters, but same thing. Asking for a miracle to defeat the guardian of some treasure trove the priest and his companions want will not be granted. Like I said, God has to want this done as well. God doesn't want you rich. God wants you to do his bidding. If you are doing God's bidding, you can get prayers and blessings. If you are doing God's commands and you need a miracle to complete that command, God will grant you a miracle. That's how it works. God decides, not you. God being, in this case, the game master, as always. Otherwise, a miracle is a rarity, with rarity more than 1 or 2 being granted every 2d6 years. So, you know, that's the way it is. Miracles don't happen every day. They don't happen every year. They don't happen every 6 years. Success ratio for miracles. The priest MA attribute number plus 2% per level of experience. However, if the gods are actively monitoring the priest's progress and he is acting on the god's behalf,
hey, did you check in on Chuck today?
What's that?
Did you check in on Chuck today?
Chuck?
No, you're a god.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I'll check it out. Oh my God, Chuck's in it. Let's give Chuck a hand. So if, like I said, if you are working on God's behalf, doing God's bidding, something God needs to get done, and you need a miracle to do it, the game master will probably let God step in and give you a miracle. That's the way it is. Miracles of luck, supernatural strength, great miracles, increased power, any known magic spells or prayers made with this miracle is at double the duration and double the power strength, 1 minute per level of experience. So all of your spells are double duration, double strength. Great miracle of control over nature. Earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, not ley line storms, that's different, can be stopped in an instant. The direction of the wind can be changed to the desire of the priest. Rain made to fall or stop. Clouds created to reduce the heat of the sun. Flood waters lowered. Flash floods condition dissipated. Swarms of insects, locusts sent away. Unfortunately, somewhere else, but not here. Get off my lawn. Go on somebody else's.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Exactly. You could also make fresh water appear in a desert, basically creating an oasis. That's awesome. Make food and fish like Jesus. It's all good. God can do that. Miraculous healing. Full health. Bing. Great. Great miracle of control over magic. Dispel any magical barrier, curses, or spell with the exception of rune magic and spells of legend. Creates an anti-magic cloud or sanctuary, instantly closes a dimensional portal, opens a dimensional rift to the desired location, only a 10% chance of error, and ask a shifter, that's pretty good. And called leyline storms. The priest himself is also impervious to all magical transformations, mind control, curses, sickness, insanity, and illusions, while he has the power to control magic. Duration. Lasts 1 melee round per level of the priest. So you don't got ultimate power for a long time, but
now one of the things that I want to say is that there were a couple in here that were level dependent, like the Magic Scroll one, and yes, the percentages are low. But one thing that's cool about Palladium, your low level character can do this. Sure, yes. The percentages are low. You can
try twice a day.
Right. And you don't have to wait until your 10th or 15th level just to hope to get a chance to do it. No, you can start at low level. You get almost all of your abilities at low level. You just work on making the percentages better as you level up. You are no slouch as a first level character. Of course, again, those die rolls, but still.
And we haven't even gotten into all of the normal abilities. That's the general abilities of priests. That's general abilities of all priests.
I'm gonna pick one real quickly here. Prayer of Strength, just because I'm looking at it, right? So that character was 7th level, right? So 7 times up 49. So she had a 69% chance at her level and got knocked down to sometimes worse 20, a 48% chance. It went from 2 and 3 to less than 1 and 5, 1 and 2. Jesus. That don't smite off to your god.
No, not a good idea. Now, specific priests of light knowledge and abilities. Healing touch. This is not a spell. This is a natural ability. Healing touch restores 2d4 hit points or SDC, 1d4 MDC to supernatural beings. Priests can perform the healing touch once every other melee round. What? What?
Right there,
Healing
black and
in
white.
this game, if you have a priest, is no big deal. I
Well, I
mean,
think you need
normal
2 of them.
healing for Palladium sucks. It's arduous, and you have to be in the right conditions. You have to, if you want to heal more than a scrub, you have to have actual medical care. But with a priest of light on your side, every other minute, boop, boop, boop. What the hell? Selling the healing touch. Clergy may offer their ability to heal others for free or may charge a fee depending on circumstance. Church edicts and knees. Fees run as low as 5 gold per laying of hands to 1d6 times 100 gold per touch. However, the average fee is about 25 or 30 gold per touch. Now, this is again how specific you get with your god or pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
If you there is a Japanese god of money changers. Yeah, he's going to charge.
Japanese god of toilets.
Whatever. He's going to charge. All right. But, your generic Judeo-Christian God is going to be angry if you do charge. Right. So if you stay generic, you can charge or not charge and God won't be pissed off. Right. But if you go specific, then you have to make these decisions. Exorcism. Exorcise the demons. A successful exorcism will drive out, banish any entity or demon from a possessed person, animal, dwelling, or area.
Oh, stop.
What?
Who can tell if somebody's possessed? The Diabolus.
The
Okay,
okay. All right. The exorcised creatures cannot return to the place or person for at least 6 months and are likely to never return because they're butthurt. Demons get butthurt. They were bested by a stupid meat sack. Screw you, I'm going home, right? A successful exorcism performed in an area such as graveyard, tomb, etc. will destroy all animated skeletons, corpses, and mummies which inhabit the area of exorcism. Ghouls and zombies will be banished for 10 months, while the greater supernatural creatures, demons, vampires, ghosts, specters, are banished for 6 months. So if you want to, it's basically a roach bomb for undead. It's not going to keep them out forever, but by God, it'll keep them out for a while.
It's almost like the Earth Dawn thing. Everything's a year and a day.
Yeah. Success ratio. This is where it gets rough. 7% per level of experience. An exorcism can be attempted as many times as the priest wants to try.
So if you have all the time in the world,
you have all the time in the world. There is no detriment for trying again. You can just keep going until you win. So it really doesn't matter unless you're on a time crunch. It doesn't matter how many rolls you have to make. You just succeed. For example, you enter a cemetery and you are being attacked by 100 skeletons. You're under a time crunch. That better work. Like right now, it better work this time, right? But if you enter during the day and you know that there's vampires who are resting in this tomb, but it's daytime, they're not out. You have until nightfall. You can keep trying until nightfall. I'm just going to give it to you.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll until you hit a multiple of 7 under your level. I'm not going to do that.
But the flip side is if you got the little girl hanging, floating, 6 inches above ground and shit's flying all over the place and you're taking damage every round, you may need to get that right away.
Yeah, you're going to want that as quick as possible, but them's the breaks, right? That's how it works. Remove curse. Okay. Ritual is similar to exorcism, except that it removes magic curses. If successful, all the effects of the magic or God-induced curse. This is even a curse given to someone by another god can be removed by this. You know why? because you are the vessel of the power of a god. That's why. If successful, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, while the priest can remove a curse from a person or animal, he cannot remove curses placed on or in rune weapons, magic items, or sacred supernatural places. These things are anchored by several layers of magic. This isn't going to do it.
And old one's deific power.
Yeah, old one deific powers. Rune magic is no joke. It's hardcore. It takes 1d4 times 10 minutes to perform the remove curse ritual. Now, you can remove curse only once per each curse on the same person. However, you can perform this ability on innumerable different people, and other priests can try to remove a curse on. Okay,
so you just have a conga line of priests ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go and try. If you fail on one person, you can't do it again on that guy for that curse. But they can get another priest to try, or you can try on another person. That's fine. But you get one try per person. This is the only role that has a penalty for failing.
Well, hold on. Megaverse says it takes 6 hours. No, it's 1d4.
1d4 times 10 minutes.
Yep.
1d4 times 10 minutes. So as low as 10 minutes. Exorcism, it doesn't give a duration.
He's talking about
1d6 hours. 1d6 hours. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 1d6 hours. You're right. Up to 6 hours. To 6 hours. But in the example I gave, you know there's vampires in the cemetery. You go there at break of dawn. You can make up to 3 attempts, even if you roll all 6s before the sun goes down, if it's summertime. But you'll likely make at least 4 or 5 attempts. You're probably going to win. All right, then we move down to turn dead. Obviously, this one's a given, right? This rite is similar to exorcism, but can be enacted in only 2 melee rounds, 30 seconds. It affects only animated skeletons and corpses, mummies, and ghouls. This ability enables a priest to repel the dead by commanding them to leave in the name of his deity. The dead will stop what they are doing and go away. Vampires, ghosts, wraiths, and specters may be temporarily kept at bay, hesitating for 1 or 2 rounds, but will otherwise be unaffected.
Okay, wait. Demons, 1 or 2 rounds? That's 15 to 20, 15 to 30 seconds. That's like, that could be 10 attacks from just one person. So
yes. Demons, devils, gods, and most of the supernatural beings are not affected. Success ratio 20% plus 5% per additional level of experience.
Real quickly,
notice in here it does not give a range. It does not give an amount of undead. It doesn't give anything like that. Repel the dead by commanding them to leave the area. Now, what is the area?
I would say hearing range.
The place that you're in. Is the area like the area could be a small village. It could be just a castle. It could be a graveyard. It could be a crypt, a tomb. It could be a large section of a dungeon. How many? All of them. All of them. They just turn around and walk away.
You skipped over Resurrection. We don't have to read the whole thing, but because it can only be done by a 5th level priest or higher. But the fact that a priest, just as a natural occurrence, like
natural ability, not a spell. Not a spell, a natural ability to resurrect the dead. Now, let's look at all the caveats and addendums to this.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
The body must have all its parts. Small parts like fingers and toes are missing, whatever, doesn't matter. You'll just call him Lefty or 9-toe Jack, whatever. The deceased should not have been dead for more than 2 to 4 weeks. Refrigeration can add up to 6 months.
Get him out of the freezer. Well, now we know where Walt Disney is.
Yeah, there you go. A penalty of -3% is applied to each month beyond 4 weeks from the time of death. Deceased over 1 year old has only a total of 5% chance for a successful resurrection. This ability can only be attempted by priests of 5th level higher. At 5th level priests is 10% chance plus 3% per additional level. Note, a resurrection can only be attempted once on the same character by the same priest. A failed roll means the character stays dead from that priest. Another priest could come in and try, but that priest cannot try again.
We're gonna have 3 priests in my party.
There you go. I want triple redundancy, baby.
All right.
But yes, anyway, okay. And then we go to Penance and Sacrifice. The techniques used for self-denial and the exploration of oneself and environment include meditation, fasting, vows of abstinence, vows of silence. As a result, priests can resist thirst for 2 days per level of experience and resist hunger for 3 days per level of experience. Although the priest is able to ignore the pain discomfort and function as close to normal, the physical body does suffer damage from dehydration. Okay, so if you are starving, if you are severely dehydrated, you will take damage. You will be dying. But all of your penitent acts to your God has strengthened your willpower to where you can push through it and still act
This is
normal.
your martyr syndrome.
Exactly. You act normally. But, if after 4 days you've had nothing to drink and you die, but wait, I had no minuses. Oh, well, but it's 4 days without water. You died. I'm sorry. That's the way it works.
Now, everything until now is all the stuff that you get for being a priest that's pretty much been out of the scope of everything we've talked about before. Now we finally start to get into some of the, okay, this is what I expect from a cleric of light or a cleric class. All of this other crap was a bonus.
Yes, so, this was all icing.
Yeah.
And it's a really thick layer of icing. This
sugar.
cake is mostly sugar. And then we get to the spell casting. Priests gain their abilities directly from their deity and their faith. The spells and effects are identical to the spell magic of wizardry. The difference is how the spells are attained, not how they function. Priests are endowed with the ability to cast spells. It is not learned or practiced. Most clergy know nothing about the ways of magic. They don't have to. The spells of a priest are invoked by chanting their god's name and the type of spell they need. A priest begins to acquire spell starting with 3rd level. Prayers and most other abilities start at level 1. See, you don't even get spells until 3rd level because the icing on this cake is so thick. Up until 3rd level, you don't need spells.
Well, also remember that the era that this came out, basic D&D clerics didn't get spells at 1st level.
They got them at 2nd.
Yeah, they started getting them at 2nd. Yeah.
Started getting 2nd. Yeah, this one gets a 3rd. At the 3rd level, you automatically get the spell of tongues and 1 additional spell from wizard levels 1 through 3. For each subsequent new level, 1 additional spell level can be selected from 1 through 3. Priests cannot be taught nor purchase additional spell knowledge. So you get these spells for free, but they're only levels 1 through 3.
I mean, you already can lay on hands every 30 seconds.
Every other 15 seconds, you can lay on hands. Shut your mouth. All right.
You think he meant for clerics to be healing bots?
That's what up until 3rd level. That's pretty much. Well, they're healing and buff bots.
Yeah.
Permanent PPE base 6d6 plus PE attribute and 1d6 per level experience. Not a lot, but levels 1 through 3 they don't cost a lot, so you're not really losing much. Spell strength starts at 12. Just like everybody, and is +1 at level 6 and 12. Note, each particular church, religion, and or god is likely to have its own laws, practices, dogma, and rituals. Only a handful require celibacy. Most allow its priests to wed and have family. Only about 50% are gender specific. The thing is, that's only if you want to get specific. If you don't have your general monotheistic god of good, and you don't have to worry about that crap. You just don't have to worry about that nonsense. Just don't worry about it. It's fine. So that is a priest of light. And my God, the priest of light is something to behold. Let me tell you.
I'm just showing this stuff here. We don't have to. By now, if you've watched any of the previous ones, you should know what a lot of this means. I'm just seeing if anything jumps out at me. Not really. It all makes sense to me.
All right. Priest of darkness. If you want to play a bad guy, you can have your power. You can have your party be bad guys, but you can't have a priest of darkness in a group full of heroes. Sorry, it's not working out.
Let's just read off the titles. What they get. So they get a prayer of strength of the damned. See the bonuses there. Prayer of communion. Summon minions of darkness.
That's not great.
This is where I made a player mad at me. Curses, or maybe it wasn't that one. It's something about raising dead. But anyway, pox curse, fever curse. So where the priest of light does nice stuff, and there's no disguising it, like it's a reversible spell, so I can heal you. No. You're cursing, you're hurting, you're you're not doing anything nice as a priest of darkness.
Right.
And you're stabbing people with a dagger.
Yes. And you are probably sacrificing because your god loves sacrifices. It's an evil god, right? So does evil shit. I mean, it makes sense.
And now they do get healing touch still. Exorcism, remove curse, resurrection. Why would you remove a curse when you're placing them all the time?
But the healing touch, it doesn't look like it's as strong.
What did it say? 1d6 hit points, 1d4 MDC, can perform every other melee round. What was it before? It was like 2d4, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2d4. So yeah, the Priest of Light healing is stronger.
Yep.
But the Priest of Darkness gets it as well.
Penance and Sacrifice. Spell, a lot of the same stuff. Spellcasting, limited spell list. Animate and command undead. That's what I used. And I made my roll. Rob's character died. I brought him back. He was mad at me. Demon familiar?
The Priest of Darkness has a very limited spell list, all level 1s, and then all of the spells on this list only. That's all they get. That's all they get, their choices. Whereas a Priest of Light gets 1 through 3. They only get any level 1 and then that list. That's it. The PPE is the same. Instead of turning undead, they command them. They can have a demon familiar like a witch, which is also never a good idea. Don't be a witch.
Yeah, so no, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I do like for the price. I mean, I get why they can remove curse. It's just like, you know what, if I'm going to curse you, can you get rid of it? No. But you said you would. I did.
Hey, you know what?
Unless maybe if I'm aberrant, okay, fine. I gave you my word. I'll get rid of it. Oops, I failed my roll. Sorry.
Oops. All right, you said you want to go over a.
Well, just what is a warrior monk?
Okay, warrior
monk. I think
monk.
this picture says it all. Says it all. Here's your warrior monk.
Why does he have to be generically Asian looking? That's racist.
Because every Asian knows karate. We know that.
Oh, right. I forgot. Sorry.
Ask my wife.
Well, from far away, because obviously she knows karate.
Well, she's small. You can hold your hand out like this. Druid, you got druids in here. Inspired in part from concepts by James Wallace. I don't know who that is. But definitely a natural. See, the 5 laws. So druids have to follow laws. The law of rebound. A lesser magical force will always be repelled by a stronger one and will rebound onto its caster. That does not sound happy at all. The law of equals, the law of appearances, the law of summoning, and the law of cause and effect. So you can't just be like, I like animals, so I want to be a druid. No, you actually have some things you have to follow. Every one of these, the monk, the priest of light, the priest of darkness, all have tenets. Yes.
Yeah. They have either a god they have to answer to, or they have their own personal philosophies or beliefs that they have to adhere to keep their powers.
Hold on. Only if I'm laying down. By the way, I have some comments throughout this segment starred that we'll get back to. I just didn't bring them up there because and what do we talk what's after? I think Druid's the last one, isn't it?
Well, Druid powers are something we want to talk about because they're very different than all the other.
We have less than a half hour.
Okay, then we'll, levels of experience power. This is on actual page 75. Yeah, you got it. More than any other OCC, the Druid's abilities increase dramatically with experience and maturity. Going up in Druidic experience doesn't work on a strict time scale. After all, a clever apprentice will learn faster than a dull one. As character gains experience levels, his knowledge of Druidic matter increases. After each level, there is a test of some kind to check if that Druid is qualified to advance to the next level. These tests differ from the area to area and from Druid to Druid, so Game Master feel free to create their own. Any player who has a Druid for a character is assumed to have already spent years of study as an apprentice to an older, fully qualified Druid. The character starts out at level 1 knowledge and ability. So not only do you need to get the experience points to go up level, you have to actually take a test. Nature gives you a test of some kind. You have to pass it. Then you get to be the experience level. But the reason for that high bar is because every freaking level you get power upon power upon power. Level 1, you get secret writing, exceptional regional knowledge. Knowledge of sacred sites, see and use ley lines, ley line drifting. That's floating on a ley line.
These two are awesome.
Yeah, floating on a ley line and ley line rejuvenation. While you're floating, you can also heal at a vastly
just lay back,
rate.
hang out, float.
Exactly. Recognize enchantments on animals, PPE, blah, blah, blah. Second level, Druidic versification skill. Along with their knowledge of history, Druids also taught folklore and wisdom in the form of songs, rhymes, and verse.
And this goes
Druidic
back to
magic
the
powers, healing
traditional.
touch. You can heal animals. Third level.
Hold
Druid
on,
astronomy,
hold
weather
on.
identification.
Slow down.
What?
Stop.
We don't
This
need
right
to
here-
go over it all. We have to.
We're not going over it all, but because chat made some comments here. This actually is what brings it back to the traditional druid.
Yes.
All right, third
right.
level.
Druidic magic powers, negate poison toxin, healing touch, control the beast, all the same as the wizard spells, plus familiar link, same as wizard spell. The druid can only have one familiar at a time. You get all those spells for free, third level. Fourth level, more druidic magic power. This one as prophecy. You can throw some bones and get omens and stuff. Forecast weather changes. Fifth level, extinguish fire or start fire. Instant communication over at least a mile per level. Sixth level, metamorphosis into any normal animal. Damn it. Summon and control canines, purification. Seventh level, phoenix healing. From death comes life. The druid can perform a ritual in which a medium to large animal is sacrificed. Each one of the PPE points unleashed by the animal and doubled at the moment of death can be converted into 1 hit point and instilled into a wounded or comatose person by touching both the animal and the patient at the moment of death. If the person to be healed is in a coma, the character gets a roll to save at plus 30 and gets 2d6 hit points if he snaps out of his coma.
Wow.
If above 0, but dangerously low, seriously injured, each PPE point released by the slain animal will be converted into hit points. Will not exceed the character's maximum number. No SDC is restored. So it only restores hit points, but it can restore
Who cares?
possibly all of them. You know, it depends on the animal. If you kill the animal, sacrifice the animal, if the animal's PPE is, let's say, 10, it's now 20 for that second. And you just healed 20 hit points, or you brought someone who was below 0 in a coma, 2d6 hit points above 0 and now out of a coma with a plus 30% chance.
Sorry, Bambi, I need a little bit of this.
Exactly. Sorry, Bambi. Divination. You can actually see the future. 8th level, protection charms. 9th level, you are now a master druid. You've learned and mastered all the skills of your profession. What do you get? You get to be called the master druid. This does not mean that they have learned or everything, but the characters attain level of mastery at only a few. It also means the level of social distinction within the druid community. Oh, okay. It's socio-political. As a master, the character may wear the distinctive white druidic robes as his regular garment, can lead druidic rites, and may sit in judgment and make public prophecies. The master may also elect to teach an acolyte, no more than 2, although most druids will wait until they have more experience before they do this. Supreme Druid is selected in a particular community. See, even in D&D and AD&D, druids had their own little community. And the main druid is elected, and only one main
elected
druid
through
can,
alpha male fighting.
Yeah, the alpha Chad druid. There's only one of them, and he's got to be elected. Only druids and their initiates are allowed to attend. At least 35% of all druids. This when they're chosen. Few serve more than 10 years in a row. Supreme Druid is also the only druid who can call a special meeting of druids in a time of crisis. Okay, those are all the druid powers. All right.
And 10th level and beyond, you get spells.
Yeah, you just get spells. 10th level beyond, you get spells. But they're, it's only levels 1 through 3, but it's any.
What you see in there is, I think it because somebody made a comment, and I'll put it up here a little bit. I'm sorry, I have a hard time seeing comments because they're on my other monitors here, but I've started a few of them where you get the history, you get the animal husbandry. So it does bring back the feel of what a druid probably should be, but still keeps it in the fantasy realm of playing games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Man of Arms. There was one that you wanted to look at here. I mean, Mercenary is what you think it would be. That still looks like a Ram Python from Battlelords of the 23rd century to me.
Saying that, yeah.
See, Mercenary, was it Soldier?
We did Soldier already.
We did Soldier? There was
we
one
did
I thought you
Soldier,
said that
and you did the Bowman. You didn't do the Ranger, but you did the Bowman.
Oh, that's right. We did.
Yeah.
Okay,
we didn't,
so
we already did 2 Men at Arms.
Oh, I don't remember doing that, but okay. Did we talk about the Paladin? Because I think the Paladin is one.
We didn't talk about the Knight. We didn't talk about the Paladin.
Let's do the Paladin.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it'll be good for our to go on with the clerics. I'm not going to go deeply into it. What's cool about the Paladin is it's a really good representation of Paladins. So most Paladins are the embodiment of the knighthood. They're supposed to represent the highest values of honor, nobility, and chivalric behavior. The ultimate knight. Right there. It doesn't have to be based on Knights Templar in real history. It doesn't have to be based on King Arthur. Doesn't have to be based on anything. These two sentences right here tell you what you're doing when you play a paladin. If you don't like that it's not historically accurate, who cares? They are the greatest fighting men alive, trained to be the very quickest and deadliest of all warriors. All right, let's see what they get. Let's see how the way of the horse, horsemanship, paladin. See the skill description. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this skill.
Yeah, there's horsemanship knight, and there's horsemanship paladin, I think.
And in our group, somebody played a paladin, was doing really weird stuff. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty damn cool. Way of the lance. The roll of a 19 or 20 unmodified means the lance strike inflicts triple damage. You're already charging.
Yeah.
It's not like that's like, ow.
Charging increases damage, and now you're tripling it. Holy crap.
Paladin's Demon Death Blow. The warrior can focus his inner spirit to attack demons, dragons, elementals, and other supernatural beings and creatures of magic. Oh, this is going to be great in the Rifts worlds. That's everybody. Oh, yeah. When used against supernatural opponents, the attack automatically penetrates the creature's natural armor rating and inflicts full damage. In Rifts, it does whatever. Who cares? We're not doing it.
It does mega damage in Rifts.
Right.
Even if it's only an SDC attack, it's converted automatically to mega damage 1-to-1.
This attack is so devastating to the creature's body, it cannot bioregenerate injury from the demon death blow for 1d4 hours. Limitations. Ooh, it's 2 attacks. Whatever. You can read the limitations there. Yeah. Alignments, of course, can be of any alignment, good, selfish, or evil. What? However, most paladins... I did not know that. I've never actually seen somebody play an evil one. I have seen somebody call himself an anti-paladin play an aberrant one once. But I think the game master kicked him out of the game. Huh. Okay. Diabolic, Miscreant, Anarchist Paladins are comparatively uncommon, but they do exist. All right. Well, that's an interesting take. I'm not going to say I necessarily agree with that.
Look at the ability requirements. We have never seen ability so many.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, these are just averages. I mean, these two are technically a touch above average.
Yes.
But yeah, but I mean, the priest had said, even with the priest, it said there are no requirements other than high MEMA is helpful for you.
Is helpful, yeah. That to be fair, most of Palladium Fantasy is all the O.C.C.s. Most of them don't have requirements, or if they are, they're really low. Even the Paladin has 4 attribute requirements, but they're all low to middling. Yeah. It's not hard.
These are normal skills. Starting equipment. You get a horse, 2 sets of clothing, cape. Gotta have a cape. Cape or a cloak. There you go. Kevin can be so thematic sometimes. A riding horse of good to excellent quality. So there you go.
But you do get chainmail or scale mail, your choice.
Yeah. I think all the men at arms get something.
Rangers. They don't get scale mail. That's out of the gate.
Fair.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thieves and assassins. Let's just look at the skills. Oh no, we got to talk about races. Screw that. Nope,
yeah,
we're going to races.
We got to do races now. We only have 18 minutes.
Yep. Hasn't popped into the green room yet. So, all right. So, what page are the races on? I do want to go, and here are the 4. We're just gonna go right through them quickly. I'm just gonna scroll down. Optionals. We have the merchant. You can play a noble. You can play a scholar. And you can play a squire. These are optional O.C.C.s. Pretty much, it tells the game master like, hey, they might be great for role playing, but they're players might not get all the skills and abilities and fun things that they'd want out of it.
Races are page 288.
All right, 288. Why didn't you stick? I said 288. Enter. There we go. Map of the known world, which we'll talk about next week. Player races. All right, humans. We're going to get into the history of the game next week. The main things we want to show you about the races are that they're different. Also, that you can play a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, they're humans, elves, dwarves, and gnomes, just like every game. Yay, gnomes.
Yeah,
I don't know the gnomes.
Humans and their ally races are the normal humans, elves, dwarves, and gnomes. Those are all considered your normal PC, player character races. And then there are the monster races, which, depending on your game master, you can or cannot be.
Right? I play Wolfen. Go figure.
That's fine. Most most GMs allow Wolfen in Palladium Fantasy because they're normally good people and they have a chivalry honor code thing and
Very
whatever.
Romanesque. Like when I picture him as like the Roman Empire.
Okay.
Coils, I hate coils. Changelings. Oh God, who was it that played a changeling in our game and it really made Al angry? Somebody did. All right, human beings. What do you get as a human? You get normal. This is what I was going to focus on, unless there's something else you want to. Attributes.
3d6 cross board.
3d6 across the board, not 4d6 +1 or -1 or whatever the hell it is. Reroll ones, not 3d6. And there's a reason for this in Palladium, and it still irks me to this day that the Palladium games that I was in, humans got to roll 4d6 reroll ones. Because anything notable about humans that we want to look at, other than
we just want to know that if you go to elves,
it's the diversity trope again, though.
Yeah, it's diversity. It's bioessentialism. They are intrinsically smarter.
Just a touch.
They are intrinsically more agile. They're intrinsically prettier, but they're also a little haughty-toity little bitches sometimes. So that's why their mental affinity is so low, because they think they're so holier than thou.
Anything that sticks out to me? Yeah, they're a little magical. We get it. They can be any O.C.C.s. So there we go.
So can humans. That's fine. Then we get to dwarves. They get their special underground sense and smell gold or whatever. That's fine.
Smell gold.
Whatever. But their bioessentialism is they're much stronger and sturdier than either elves or humans, but
their stubbornness gets in the way.
And instead of being all uppity like the elf, they are all griff and grum and stuff. So they also get only 2d6 for MA, but they're also short and they got little legs, so their speed sucks.
Except for they get 1d6 for digging. Dude, they're like moles from They actually are like moles. Like, that might not sound fast when you compare it to a running person, but 1d6 digging? That's crazy fast.
Digging. That's so slow, arduous process. Not for a dwarf.
Not for a dwarf.
Fast.
They have a lot of enemies.
Well, yeah, but they do hold a grudge.
Yeah, they do. Gnomies. What do they get? Let's see. There's human intelligence. Oh my God. Not the wisest people in the
world. No, they're mental. Well, no, I'm gonna say wise. Their mental fortitude is lacking.
Gullible.
I'll give you that quite a bit, but they are fun to be around.
Yeah.
3d6 +4. Strength is in the toilet, but they're nimble, and they're hardy.
And they can dig.
They can also dig.
Everybody digs in this game. Troglodytes. Now, I don't know anything about troglodytes, so let's take a look. Player characters like the young single male. All right, IQ. They're not the brightest in the world. Again, don't have the best mental fortitude. They're kind of trustworthy. I mean, they're normal trustworthy.
They are strong.
Holy balls,
dexterous.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. Yeah, they're pretty strong though.
I didn't think they'd be dexterous.
They are though. Yeah.
3d6 digging. They can dig faster.
They can dig. They're huge. They're huge diggers.
By the way, say that more clearly next time. That came through my ears a little differently than you.
They're huge diggers. Diggers with a D, people. Calm down. Kobold should not be erased, but it is in this game. So there we are.
I give up. Everybody digs.
IQ is human normative. No.
Well, aren't these like they make a bunch of traps and some weird stuff? I thought somebody played one. But yeah, they're art. That's right, because the kobolds are the best artisans or the best crafters in the game outside of dwarves.
Outside dwarves, okay. Well, then they're strong. They're ugly as hell. Man, what is it with all these monsters that can dig? I mean,
okay, so somebody wanted to go back up here
now. Dwarves should feel bad, like they have the only thing in common with monsters.
The troglodytes had 66 running. Yes,
that is fast. That is fast. Goblins. Here we go. This has got to be crappy. Goblin only 2d6. It should be less. It should be less than that. ME. Okay. MA. I get it. Strength normal. a little more dexterous than humans, a lot more dexterous than humans.
Well, that
And they're
makes
ugly.
sense. They're crafty. Yeah. Again, dig it. Why does everybody get digging? Hold on. I'm
All
scrolling
monsters
up to
get
the
digging.
humans. Hold on. Did humans get digging?
Humans
Are
did
we
not
the
get
only
digging.
species? God damn, are we the only species that can't dig?
Elves can't dig either.
Okay, elves can't dig either. Dang it! Everybody digs, man. What was that? Oh, okay. That's hit points. All right, going back down. Everybody digs.
Goblins, hobgoblins.
If Wolfen don't dig, I'm gonna be angry because we all know dogs bury their bones.
That's true. Hobgoblins, again, intelligence light, but they are pretty mentally resistant. 3d6 plus 6. That's nice. Not fun to be around, and a little bit ugly. But other than that, fuck, they get digging too. It's only a D4, but they can dig. What's this?
Oh my god.
God, man, can't dig for nothing. Orcs, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Again, just mildly, 2d6 an IQ problem, 2d6 ME,
Wow.
normal MA, strength 3d6 plus 8. That's big. PE 3d6 plus 2. That's okay. And a little ugly. That's not great. I was expecting more. I mean, the strength bump is nice, but everything else is pretty normal. I'd rather be a dwarf, really, to be fair. Ogres, here we go. Now we get to the derp stages. Here we go. Oh my god, ogres have 3d6 IQ. An ogre. Historically, in many other canons, they are dumb as balls, but nope, not here. They have human normative
Bruce's
IQ.
story about mentally retarded ogres now comes into play in Palladium.
There you go. MA, they're not fun to be around. I understand. Big strength buff.
Hey, they can't dig.
Sizable PE buff.
How many more do we have? Jeepers creepers. How many races are there?
Trolls, here we go. Trolls, again, human normative intelligence. Huge strength buff. For some reason, pretty good PP and PE buff. Well, I get the PE one, but the PP not so much. But
well, I mean, they're not fat trolls if you look.
No, I get it.
Just bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Kevin likes his bobblehead characters. Look at that Wolfen pencil drawing he did. And then Changeling. Actually should have taken some time on this one, but we can't now because our guest is actually waiting.
But anyway, the Changeling, human normative IQ, very strong mental endurance, very strong mental affinity.
Trolls can't dig either.
Pretty weak constitution and beauty, but they are Changeling, so they get other stuff.
Look at this bobblehead.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, Wolfen, this is the race that I played. I don't remember having a low MA, but I guess I did. I was strong. That's right. I played a ranger, so that strength helped when I was sword fighting, and I was pretty quick, which makes sense. No digging. How does everybody else get digging, but not the wolf? Where do I bury my bones? Unbelievable.
I don't believe it. Everyone else got it. Wait, I didn't look for the troll. I didn't look for the troll. If a troll gets digging and a Wolfen does it, I'm rage quitting this.
All right.
Ha! Oh no, wait, no, that's Changeling. That's Changeling. Changeling gets no digging.
Right. Yeah. Neither do
trolls get no digging. Okay, good. All right.
All right, there we go. And coils are just basically like jerk, a little bit smaller. They're foxes instead of wolves, and they're or coyotes, whatever. They're assholes. Trixie. All right, I'm gonna quickly go through the chat that I starred, and then we'll move on to segment 2 because, like I said, he's already waiting for us.
Okay.
And we'll get him in here. And I think he can hear us. So I've already been warned. If you don't give your little catchphrase when you first come in, I'm going to get beat up. All right, what do we have in here? So going back quite a ways, clerics and divine magic and the demands of trying to play as an intermediary of a divine being as a GM can cause so many problems. I don't see those problems, but clerics and faith are the enemies of good story. I've never really run into that.
You see, that's the thing. The reason we haven't run into that is either because we've had specific deities that the GM cleared before the game, or super generic monotheistic nonsense that is so open to interpretation you basically can't do it wrong.
I usually just played with players that wanted to follow the tenets of the gods, and we might have a jerk player that's always messing with somebody, like always messing with the paladin or whatever. But that was a player issue. That wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, if you go wide and just go monotheistic Judeo-Christian God, as long as you're nice to people, charitable, you're good, right? I mean, you're fine.
So I don't give bonus XP to players who do get background stories because I don't care about your background story too much, other than give me like a little paragraph about who you are. To be fair, in the past I was different. I used to like them, but now it's just like, give me something. What I like is when something like Forbidden Lands, where you have like three different little things. You have your pride, you have your dark secret, and you have your relationships with the other characters. Those are just like one sentence things that tells kind of a little bit about your character, and you role play those things. And I think that's a very simplistic way of putting that together. So it's not about the background stories itself. And I know that a lot of that was clarified through the chat. I did see it. But it's about because you did say about how it progresses the story forward. Again, this is where Heathen Dog and I differ. I don't have a story going forward. I have world events, and what you guys do on the planet create or the area create the story.
Now, I don't give bonus XP for background. I give bonus XP for playing your character and learning from your character, learning from their mistakes. Now, I started this off in the Old World of Darkness, where I would ask you after a gaming session, write down some things that you did or something that you learned or lessons that you came across. And if they were in character, something your character would have learned, and you can use that moving forward to build on your character, then I give you an extra point. That it shows
there was always a limit.
Yeah. There's a limit. I mean, you're not going to write a book. I'm not giving you points for the whole book, but you will get experience, and I do it all games now. You will get experience because you are playing your character as your character. You're showing how your character is learning. Mm-hmm. And I like that in a player. It makes them invested in the character.
Yep.
They want the character to do well. So I reward that more than background.
And you couldn't just put on dumb things that look, I learned my D20 hates me.
Yeah, you can't. No. This is in character talking to himself. So yeah.
This is actually a good idea. Too bad Penance and Sacrifice does not increase chance.
Yeah. If you really need a miracle, and you whip
God,
yourself.
I'm self-flagellating.
Yeah,
help.
Yeah. Flagellating or bleeding or, taking on stigmata, stuff like that would increase your chance. Me personally, as a DM, I'd say yeah.
Two more. Tree Druids are weak compared to the 1E version. I don't have 1E to compare it to, but he likes to put in the comparison between 1 and 2E Druids. So
Druids in 1E in AD&D rather than second edition AD&D were stronger. They got more abilities, but again, just like this book,
he's talking Palladium.
He's talking Palladium. Okay, sorry.
He's always talking about differences between first and second edition Palladium. So if they're more powerful in first edition, it's almost intimidating.
I'm a little scared. Jesus.
And finally, Druids historically, the basic expert. Hey, he was on Friday. Thank you very much for being there Friday and putting up with our nonsense. But Druids historically were just as much political figures as religious ones. I'd love to see someone do a take on that. I think Palladium does it fairly well, while still remembering that it is a game. It is but I do agree, and I think that's where first edition AD&D Druids shined, because you had to have. I forget all the nonsense you had to have to become a druid.
Yeah, it was this giant.
Or am I thinking of the bard? I forget now.
Political hierarchy type thing with all druids. It was very, very, very hard to advance beyond a certain level. It was a lot like Dragonlance, whereas you can only have one Hierophant druid. You can only have one.
That was second edition for sure.
White robes, one master of the black robes, one master red robes, and if you had enough experience to go up to that, well, sorry, you just can't.
That was second edition for sure.
Yeah,
I don't remember enough about first edition because I never played a druid in first edition. So there we go. I'm just going to leave the basic experts comment on there because I forgot to remove it. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. And of course, is there anything else I need? Oh, I forgot to. Hey, let's do it after the fact because doing it beforehand is bad. There we go. That was who we are.
Retroactive.
And Look at that. We beat it. We stopped before 2:30. We got it. I didn't think we were going to do it. So let's put that. Oh, you already got rid of it. Okay. Completely different.